Hey, welcome to Mevo Live, the pilot episode of a live stream that we are hoping to start up as a group here at Mevo to kind of answer questions and hit all your hard-hitting questions, show you some new production tips, and all the sort of Mevo products that you can use in a live stream. So my name is Nathan Lundy, I'm head of CX here, and I want to welcome you to our new show. I would also like to welcome our producer and director of video, Andrew, who's going to be here with us today. And he's actually the man behind the scenes, switching all the cameras and showing us what's going on here.
Oh man, I'm so happy to be here. We've been doing live stream for a very long time, and it's really great to finally put this together. I started probably like a month ago, and it's really been this has been the point of this all, is to get this live production up. So I'm really excited to get this off the ground.
Same here. And as well, since we were just talking about the production, let's go ahead and show them what we're using here for our video production. So we're using all Mevo cameras for all the video angles that you're going to see throughout the show. And then we're using Livestream Studio to do all the video mixing. And then we've got some professional microphones that we've got wired up for both Andrew and I. So why don't we go ahead and show them some of the angles that we have around our production. So over here, we've got a little isolated shot here, so I can show you some close-ups and some different things like that. Then we've got a high and wide Mevo Plus way back in the back of the room to kind of show you some behind the scenes of our production here in our warehouse in Brooklyn, New York. Then we've got my favorite camera, the Andrew Cam.
Too kind.
This is our producer right in the face right there, just saying hello and kind of interacting with us throughout the show. Then we've got our over-the-top shot here. This is where we can show you some unboxing videos and little details from the top of this desk. And then we have our fancy-dancy sliding camera over on the side here as well to show you a little behind the scenes, a little bit closer up to what we're doing here on the set.
And I'll even add that we have all of this, the three mics. I'm on a lav, he's on a lav, and we have another lav set up for when Will comes back. But we have it all going into a mixer and straight into a Mevo Start. Let's see if I can point this out to you. So it's all going right into this Mevo Start. We're not going through the computer, and we do have some fancy magic tricks that Nate has put together in order for us to hear each other. You see he has an earpiece in his ear. And then we'll also maybe bring in a guest.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe one will show up, maybe one won't. So why don't we actually get into today's show? So each day we're going to have kind of a little bit of a theme, and we'll have an agenda to share with you so that you have an idea of what's happening in today's show. So let's get started here. So the very first thing after we walk through this is actually a feature drop. We're really excited to share with you a new feature. You guys have been wanting this for a long time, and we're happy to announce that it's coming. So in a minute, we'll show you that. Soon after that, we're going to get into an unboxing. We're going to show you a Mevo Start and kind of the beginning stages of what that looks like if you're not familiar. Then we're going to get into a Q&A and potentially a live interview with Joe Mevo if he's around. Everyone, we know him here as Joe Capehart, but most of you in the group know him as Joe Mevo, the man.
Yeah, it's Joe Mevo. He's not Joe Capehart, it's Joe Mevo.
Exactly. Then we're going to get into one feature that I think is an underrated feature that not enough people know about, and that is the Mevo Mic App. And then, whoa, you threw in the discount?
Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah.
You're just letting them see it right off the bat.
Yeah,
if you hang around.
I had to. I want everyone to know that at the end of the show, you're going to have a really amazing discount that we're going to share with the Mevo community. I hope you share this with everybody. It's not just for you guys. I almost just told them, I'm not going to tell you how much it is yet. But yeah, just so stay tuned.
Cool. Well, why don't we get into that first ticket item, which is our feature drop. So what's cool about this new feature is, well, it's kind of an upgrade to an existing feature, if I'm being honest, and that is our Mevo Plus and first gen cameras. So a couple of months ago, we launched wired web camera mode for our Mevo Start camera. And we heard you guys in the community say that you actually wanted wired web camera for Plus and first gen as well. So we got kind of a beta out the door about a month ago, but it was only in 480p. So we're really happy to announce that we're now going to support 720p wired web camera for Mevo Plus and first gen. And to kind of walk us through what this looks like and a little bit about it is Will. He recorded a video for us to kind of walk us through that. So let's take a look.
Setting up wired webcam beta 720p is extremely simple. All you need to do is enable it in your Mevo app settings. So you'll hit the three dots, the gear, scroll down to wired webcam beta, and enable it. Now, plug your USB cable that's plugged into your Mevo into your computer. Once you've connected to your Mevo with USB, open up your program of choice. I'm using Zoom, and select your video source, and then Mevo's on the list. Press Mevo, and then you're connected up and good to go.
Well, thanks, Will, for shooting that video for us. And I hope you guys really are happy about it as I am with 720p coming to Plus and first gen. Now, there's one thing to remember, though, that there is a small, it's in beta, so there's a few things that you might run into using the feature, but for the most part, you should be good to go using it with all your favorite things like Zoom or Google Meet and other services and conferencing software that you might want to use for that. Okay, so Andrew, what's next on our list of to-do for today?
You know, it's a great question. Why don't we show them, because I think some people have been on the fence about Mevo Starts. Maybe they don't know what you get with it. Why don't we show them what's in the box?
Yeah, that sounds great. I think we've got one right over here that we can use to
Isn't
unbox.
that handy? That's handy having it right there.
Isn't this handy right here? It's just right there on the shelf with our other products. So this is Mevo Start. As you can see from the box, it's pretty small. On the front packaging, we just have a photo of it. We've got some places to download the app, what's included in the box, and some other information on the outside. But I guess we should just probably get right into the contents of it, the most important part.
I gotta say, I love this shot. I think it looks really great. It's just about a foot above, 2 feet above, and just pointing face down. And we have it mirrored, so it's actually the same perspective as
Exactly.
Nathan.
So here is our Mevo Start. We're going to come back and take a quick look at this in a few minutes. Let's take a look at the rest of the contents of this box. So inside you'll notice we've got a little pamphlet here. This guy includes a little quick start guide with some directions on how to get started, how to plug it in, where to download the app, and also where to find other information on help in our support center. And then we've got a little microfiber cloth, to clean your lens if it gets smudges or fingerprints on it. And then in the bottom, we've got a nice long USB-C to USB-A cable for quick charging and also using for wired web camera in those instances where you just want to plug it into your computer.
Yeah, I gotta say, a lot of devices you buy come with these kind of like small 3-inch, 6-inch cables, and I just love that you could, here, let me see if I can show you guys. Right now I have a floor stand, and we have just the basic, the cable that comes with in the box coming, where is it leading to? Isn't it?
It goes right down to power right at the base of it there.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it's not like we're using any added accessories there. That's the same cable.
Exactly. So let's take a look at some of the outsides of this guy here. And ooh, my favorite part of any unboxing. Oh yeah, taking off the plastic. So now we're to the camera, looking beautiful here. And I'll give you some close-up shots over here of the back. So on the back of the camera, we've got to start out with is a micro USB slot here. So you can put any range of micro SD cards from an 8 gigabyte all the way up to like a 512 gigabyte SD card. Pretty much anything works in here. And so nice and easy, flexible for whatever card you may have laying around. Right above that, we have a USB-C port. So this is for quick charging or obviously wired web camera. And quick charge will charge this baby from about 0 to 80% in about an hour and 20 minutes to an hour and a half-ish. So that'll handle your quick charge right there. Right above this, so with our first gen and plus, one of the biggest features people asked for was a physical input for audio. Because right now with plus and first gen, we kind of made you jump through a few hoops by using USB audio devices. And people just like, we really just want the 3.5 right on the back, TRS, so we can go directly from our mixer or our microphone directly in. So we heard you and we put it right in the camera itself. And then right above that is the power button and battery indicator for this device. We'll just go ahead and flip it on. So along with that is one thing we missed right at the beginning was the battery life on this guy. 6 hours of streaming and or recording, and that's just built in. If you won't need more, you can always plug it in and run it plugged in and just keep it on as long as you want. But Mevo Plus, first gen, 1 hour battery life, this guy 6 hours, can get you through any music or football or basketball games you may be shooting. it should be able to handle it on a full charge. So
What's that guy called?
So this guy would be the B6J on the back here, the serial number. And so we kind of cheated a little bit, right? We took it out of the box before we did this, and we connected it to our Wi-Fi so we could show you a fun feature and just how easy it is to use Mevo Start with phone or with Livestream Studio. And you can see it right here. I've got it wirelessly connected to our router here in the office, and now we've just got an instant wireless camera. And it's that easy for your mobile device to connect or something like Livestream Studio to connect.
I mean, it's fascinating being able to see that. Like, I'm going to cut to the extreme wide just so you can, like, this is almost like a magician being like, nope, no strings attached. It's fully wireless. Check this out. Like it, and then we can use it. It popped up immediately on I'm using Livestream Studio, but there may be a way to be able to connect multiple Mevo Starts coming into your phone soon. But right now I am using Livestream Studio to do all of this, and it popped up immediately, and it's really fascinating. It's almost magical. I would say magical.
I think it is, personally. Well, what do we have next? That was a nice little video. So one thing we want you to do is ask us some questions on the show. That's what it's designed for, really, is we want to get your questions answered live on the show. That way, maybe you're on the fence about buying a Mevo Start. Maybe you already own one and don't know how to use something. We can answer it right here. So get in the chat and you can ask away, and we'll feed those questions in and make sure you get them answered.
And we have a fresh one.
Awesome.
Are you ready, Nate?
Yeah. All right, Keith, please explain the NDI feature. I would be more than happy to. So if you own a Mevo Plus or first gen, unfortunately NDI isn't compatible, but if you own a Mevo Start, it is. So the NDI that we've enabled in the camera is called NDI HX. So it's a lower bitrate version of NDI that goes anywhere from about 10 megabits to 15 megabits a second. But it's full NDI as far as that goes. In the app, which I can show you in just a second here, we'll get it all lined up. And I can show you a little bit about how to toggle that feature on. So before you enable the feature, though, you do need to have a couple things done. Depending on the software side that you would like to receive the video on, you'll need to download NDI tools from NewTek, and you'll also need to just make sure that the software you're using is compatible with NDI devices. Once you've got that done, the NDI tools takes a few minutes, so you'll need to just configure that and get that ready to go ahead of time. Then you'll just open up the app, and you'll configure the app to make your Start appear on the same network. So you can add it to a router, or you could use our Ethernet power adapter, which I've got right here. Ethernet power adapter, and you could hardwire this using Ethernet into the connection that you would like to send the video to. Once you've got that done, all you have to do is enable it in the Mevo settings, and the receiving side device will just see that source right away. And give me 1 second here. I will show you, we can show you in-app how to do this.
And I remember you telling me about NDI and it being, I think that this is probably one of, I mean, it's such a professional feature. Let's see if he's, I'm also monitoring the chat, so if you have any live questions, please put them in there. That was a live question from Keith Poole. But when I first started here, I talked to Nathan about the NDI feature, and I think that it is probably the most inexpensive camera that has NDI. It's a professional feature. That's something that comes with much higher end, or not higher end, but much more expensive cameras.
It definitely does.
And I think that actually Nathan was probably one of the biggest proponents for that feature.
I definitely was. Years ago when we first launched Mevo, I really wanted NDI in a camera because I just saw the potential for such an inexpensive but high quality video camera with an awesome broadcast production feature like NDI. And so that's why I pushed so hard for it. I really wanted it, and finally this year with Start we were able to do it. And unfortunately there's some technical hardware limitations with Plus and with the first gen, but with Start we were able to do it, and that was very exciting for me. And it is a feature that works great. It works with Livestream Studio, it works with Ecamm, it works with vMix, and plenty of other broadcast quality switchers that are out there, which is very fun. All right, should we head to the next question?
Yeah,
let's do it.
All right, hold on 1 sec.
All right. Can Mevo be used as a webcam? That is a great question, and the answer is yes. So as of a few months ago, we heard the cry for help with kind of all the things that are happening in the world these days. We understand that people are going to be at home more, and they want higher quality video, better quality video or audio, excuse me, and they want to just be able to connect in a different, better way. And so we realized that Mevo had a place here in this space, and that we should take our team and push that and make that a priority. And we were able to do it in just a couple of months. So you can use your Mevo Start or your Mevo Plus first gen as a web camera. And we also have a new tool that just launched for Mac OS and soon to be Windows that is our wireless web camera feature. And that basically enables all these cameras to be I would say the world's first wireless web camera. And the same thing goes with all the other features. You just put it on the same network as the device that you'd like to receive it on, download the software, quick install, and now you've got a wireless web camera ready to go for your computer or your conferencing or whatever else it may be.
All right, you ready for one more?
I'm ready for one more. Let's do it. My favorite question. Love this.
Yeah, this is, we got this question. Some of these questions are either coming from live, but we also, really, I mean, you're talking to the people that put together all of those help articles online, and we kind of put together all of the most asked questions that you guys ask to our support desk, and we've made a really long list. So it's either going to be coming from here, from our very long list of in-house questions, or from the Facebook chat. So feel free to keep putting away in the comments. So this next one is, what stands and mounts are compatible with Mevo?
Yeah.
A lot, right, Nathan?
A lot of stands are very compatible with Mevo. So basically here on the bottom of the camera, this goes for all Mevo products, we've got our main mic stand. So any mic stand that's on the market, or you can buy the Mevo stand directly from us, will just work default right in the bottom of Mevo. And we also give you this little adapter here that allows you to adapt this to any tripod and or European tripod mount as well. And you can just insert this guy into the mount, and now it'll be adapted to pretty much any mount that you have laying around.
Yeah, I'd say this little adapter here that comes in this space is one of the most useful little adapters. We were shooting a video in which I needed to put a shotgun at the end of a boom arm attached to a C-stand, which is, we have a few in this shot. You see that, like this C-stand here. And I needed to use this for not a Mevo camera, and it's incredibly helpful. We have a bucket here of them, and I use them constantly. So great question. One more?
Let's do one more. Why not?
All right.
Oh, this is kind of similar to NDI. Okay, well, you know, we can go back. If you weren't here just a couple of minutes ago, yes, Mevo Start is compatible with NDI, and it's NDI HX. Yes, easy question. My favorite.
All right, one more. This one is, I'm having audio issues. I'm not getting any sound when I plug in my wireless mic into the Mevo Start mic jack. What am I doing wrong, Nathan?
All right. Well, this is an easy one as well. And this is actually Joe Mevo, Joe Capehart, his favorite question, because it's so easy to fix. Generally, people are trying to use, or customers are trying to use, a TRRS adapter for the back of Mevo Start. And unfortunately, TRRS is unique to Android or mobile devices. And if you want to use an audio jack for this 3.5 millimeter audio input, it needs to be TRS, so tip, ring, sleeve. So if you see two rings on the little adapter, then that means that it's not going to work with this guy. It just needs to have the single ring around it for stereo audio, and then it'll work. So just an easy, quick fix. And most of the time it's an adapter you're trying to throw, like a TRS adapter you're trying to throw in between the sources. You can generally just remove that and plug the source directly in, and you'll be all set.
But if you do want to use a TRRS, we do have there's a way to do that. We have an amazing app called the Mevo Mic App, where you could plug the mic directly into your phone, which does take TRRS, and then have that go directly into the camera wirelessly.
Exactly.
But we have a video actually coming up.
That's awesome.
With Joe Mevo.
Joe Mevo, the man.
Who is going to just explain all the specifics and show you using a lavalier that is TRRS. All right, one more question maybe?
Yeah, let's do it.
Anyone else from Facebook? No, it's not yet.
All right. Is it normal to have a 30-second delay in my live stream? The answer, in short answer, is yes. There are a few different services these days, like Google and Twitch, that offer a low latency streaming, but there's still at least 10 to 15 seconds in that stream. And that's from the encoding side all the way to the viewing side. And the reason is just the infrastructure needed to be able to get that video from the source out distributed to edge servers and things like that. It's just part of the process that it takes to be able to do live streaming. So unfortunately, yes, generally there's always the 30-second delay. And like I said, some services can get that down to 15 seconds or sometimes 10 seconds, but 30 seconds would be pretty normal across the board.
And that brings us to a really fun segment. We actually have Joe from Mevo coming live from his apartment here in Brooklyn. So we're remoting him in. And without further ado, hold on, let's see if we can bring him in.
Hey, buddy, good to see you. Glad you were able to make it. This is Joe Capehart, aka Joe Mevo. And we brought him in from his apartment here in Brooklyn. He's working from home today, but we wanted to make sure he could be part of our show and tell us a little bit about himself, a little bit about what he does here on the show, and maybe he'll walk us through a few things Mevo related later on. So Joe, welcome, and tell us a little bit about you personally and kind of like, let's get to know you a bit as a group.
Sure. So thanks for having me. I love that I can be a part of the show, and while I'm remote. So thank you for taking that extra step to include me in the first live stream. How could I not be here? So I'm happy. So my name's Joe Capehart. I am from Ohio. Some of you may know me from a few years ago. I was part of the group prior to being hired here at Mevo. I was hired and officially became part of Mevo February last year. And I was a customer previously, as I mentioned. So I currently live, breathe everything Mevo. My everyday routine at Mevo kind of starts out with some tickets. I'm jumping in to see if anyone needs help, anyone has any questions, scouring the Facebook group to see if there's any urgent needs that need some attention. And then outside of that, I'm taking that information that I'm getting directly from you all, and I'm writing some articles, trying to get some troubleshooting guides out there in case, I'm seeing a reoccurring issue or a reoccurring question. I want to make sure that those articles are addressing those. So yeah, I mean, that's basically what my day is like. And I love it here. I really do. So I'm excited that we're getting the live stream started, and I'm excited that we're going to be able to continue to do this moving forward.
Nice. Well, thank you very much for all that information. It's great to have you on the team. It's been awesome to see you grow over the last year, and the group absolutely loves you, which is where we're streaming right now. And hopefully that's going to be expanding to other places like YouTube and Vimeo and Twitch, and who knows where we'll end up. But where we're streaming right now is a group of people that know Joe Mevo better than anyone probably. So thanks for coming on. Why don't you walk us through a little bit about, I think there's something going on this week with iOS 14 that's happening. It's throwing a lot of apps off. But for our app, luckily, no big deal, but we want to make you aware of a little something, and I think Joe's can share that with you.
Absolutely. So luckily, when iOS 14 was announced and released, we didn't run into any big hiccups, as you did mention. But there were a few things, and let's talk about those. So essentially, what had happened was Apple has actually introduced a few additional permissions. So these weren't new permissions. They're just, they were now separated from, they were combined, but now they have their own area and permissions that you need to approve. So when you relaunch the app for the first time using iOS 14, you're going to be prompted to allow it to connect to devices on your local network as long as you press OK. And then you might as well just go ahead and get it out of the way and run to the library in the Mevo app, and also allow access to all photos. That way you get the full use of the Mevo. But luckily, these features are not actually giving any additional ability to your device. It's simply the same permissions you had previously, but under a new name. So don't be afraid when those pop up. Those are expected with iOS 14.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. And it was news to me this morning. It was shared with the team, but luckily everything's all good at the app. No changes needed to continue using your Mevo product. So thanks for sharing that. And so one other question I had for you is, from the last year, you've been working for Mevo, you've gotten to know a lot of products and a lot of things that are going on. What is like one of your favorite things that you've seen added in the last year that you think is like kind of cool, something personally that you would want to use, or something along those lines?
Sure. So I know when I was a regular user of Mevo prior to coming here, I always was a big advocate for free switcher software. I was a college student, so of course free was the way to go. So I was a big fan for OBS. So as soon as it was announced that we could use Mevo Start with NDI, obviously that was the first door that opened that allowed me to use my Mevo with OBS. And then obviously the latest webcam features, the wireless and wired, give me the same ability without having to get too complicated with my network. So I love the ability to simply attach it to my computer and allow it to be noticed in multiple different pieces of software. So that's probably my favorite currently.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, well, looks like we might have a couple questions here,
we got
Andrew.
another
That's
question coming up. I
awesome.
snuck it in there. I wanted to get Joe caught off guard, and we got one from our Facebook group from Rick Dove Jr.
All right, let's hear it.
You ready?
Let's bring it. Let's do it. All right. So Rick Dove Jr. asks, how can I use the iScarlett to bring in my audio from my sound system? So this is going to depend on what you're using as an input. So if you're using a Mevo Plus or Mevo First Gen with your Mevo Boost, then you would go into the USB of the Mevo Boost. And then once you go in your audio settings and then edit and add your USB audio source, then you'll be able to gather the audio from the Scarlett. Now, if you're using the Mevo Start, it's got the 3.5 millimeter audio input on the back as well as the USB-C. So actually, I have an adapter right here, which is perfect. So for the Mevo Start, you can do the same thing as the Mevo Boost and take an adapter, which is USB-A to USB-C, and plug the Scarlett in that way, or most likely on the Scarlett, I know the one we have actually has some RCA outs where you can take it and convert that to a 3.5 millimeter TRS and go into the back of the Mevo Start that way. So, and once you plug it in that way, once again, it's going to detect it in the app, and you can swap over sources and use your Scarlett as a source. That's a great question.
Yeah, awesome. The nice part is the one thing that I love about Mevo is we are a hardware company. We make like a hardware product, right? But we have an awesome, awesome software team that continually adds new features. So when we started out, we only supported a handful of audio devices. And then next thing you know, fast forward a couple of years, we pretty much handle any audio device that doesn't need a driver on the market. And you can use it with any of our products. So that's one of my favorite things. Always feature updates, always coming at you for free. And yeah.
And one thing before we lose Joe, I just got a live question. It's coming in from Fred Heed. Last night during my live stream, the locked static shots Mevo Start didn't appear while using OBS. Are there any issues with that?
Okay.
So
yeah, that's interesting. I don't understand quite the question on locked static shots. But my guess is it might have to do with some autopilot, where you might be not setting a static shot in the app, and you maybe don't have autopilot enabled or disabled, depending on the function that you may be wanting to do. But I would check your autopilot settings. Those can be found if you tap on the three dots in the bottom right of the app, and then you go to autopilot. It's an I with an A, I believe, in the middle of it. And from there, you can see the autopilot settings for live follow and face detection and some other features like that built right in there. Joe, what do you think about that question?
So So just to clarify for that question as well, you know, I would kind of want to hit it on both ends, is if you're thinking that the static shots that you've set in the app are going to allow you to have multiple different views inside OBS, one thing you should know is that Mevo Start is only going to send, or the Mevo First Gen or the Mevo Plus is only going to send that one output. So you're not going to get multiple different angles that you're going to see in OBS. You actually are still going to have to continue to control your shots from the app. And then whatever shot you have selected there is going to display on the computer and whatever selecting software you're using. Just to be clear, it's not going to show multiple different angles that you can select from OBS. It's only going to have the program out that you're selecting from the app.
Exactly.
He is actually saying, he's saying every time I was pressing the different shots and it worked on my tablet but not on the live stream. So Fred, are you saying that you were able to do the shots within the app and it just wasn't, autopilot was off, and it wasn't feeding, the out wasn't feeding correctly? Is that what you're trying to say, Fred?
All right, well, do we have any other questions while we wait for Fred to get back to us on that clarification?
Of course we do. Let's see. See if we can stump him.
Oh, let's stump us. Give us a good one.
Oh boy.
Where is the best location to place my Mevo?
Or best location to place my Mevo? Okay, so for Mevo placement, we recommend the same for the Start, First Gen, Mevo Plus. All of them should be within 5 to 10 feet from your subject. So best practices is to actually physically move your camera, and the wide shot should be the most wide angle you're trying to actually capture. If you pull it back any further and you're using zoom to frame that shot, although it is convenient, it could also degrade the video quality just right off the bat. So without zooming in, try to frame your shot as best as possible from 5 to 10 feet away. The closer you get, the better it's going to show. The Mevo Start, Mevo First Gen, and Mevo Plus all have digital zooms opposed to an optical zoom. So the quality can degrade the further you try to zoom in. So keeping it within that range is going to give you the best possible output to your program.
Close to the stage and close to the content. So the idea there is definitely to have Mevo as close to what's happening as possible for good audio, good video, and generally a great place to set it up in general, where you can be there on the front row with it. Fred, I just wanted to let you know too, I didn't want to leave you hanging, that you can always open up a ticket. You can head to help.mevo.com and you can open a ticket with our support team here with Joe Mevo, who's online. We also have Will, and they both handle a lot of the tickets that come from you guys. And that's honestly the fastest way to get a hold of us, because we're always paying attention for issues or questions coming that direction. So you can always head there.
And we plan on doing these shows regularly. We'll be going live again on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So feel free. There's 17 people who have joined us. Keep asking us questions. We'll try and get through as many as possible. And these are the people that are answering questions in those live tickets. So a little bit of mix of both.
Well, I think that would be awesome. Joe, thank you for joining us today. We're actually going to head to another video that you've done for us, which is the Mevo Mic App. Joe, Andrew, and Will shot this video to kind of walk people through the Mevo Mic App, what it can do, how easy it is, and my favorite part of another Mevo feature, it being free to download for Android and iOS. So we'll let Joe walk you through this video and those features.
Awesome. Thanks for having me,
Hi,
everyone.
I'm Joe from Mevo. For this production, we're going to be using a Mevo Start with the Mevo app. I also have a secondary mobile device running the Mevo Mic App and a lavalier attached to my shirt. So if you're in a video production like me, you're always looking for ways to improve your video. Whether it's with set improvements, lighting, or transitions, well, for this particular video, I'm going to cover audio. While the Mevo Start does have a 3 microphone array for internal microphone purposes, you also have a 3.5mm audio input on the back. But there's also those scenarios where you're not within close enough distance of your Mevo where the internal microphones won't pick it up or won't pick it up well, or you don't want to run a cable across the floor for your external audio sources. Well, for that, we have the Mevo Mic App. Now the Mevo Mic App is an app you can download from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store for completely free. Once it's on your mobile device, just connect it to the same network and your Mevo app will detect it and allow you to use it as a source. The Mevo Mic App is an app that allows your mobile device to act as a microphone. You can also plug in external sources directly to the device running the Mevo Mic App and use those as sources as well. You can also use it for examples with multiple people on the set at once, like an interview. So, Will, tell me, what do you like about the Mevo Mic App?
Well, it's free, it's clear, it's got great range. Right now I'm using a professional microphone hooked up to an iRig connected to my phone.
And it sounds fantastic. So you can do something simple like this, or you can even use the Mevo Mic App and connect something like a soundboard or a mixer and use all of the outputs from that as well and run it into the Mevo Mic App. The Mevo will automatically handle syncing of the audio and the video, and you don't have to worry about it. So you're getting crisp audio no matter where you're at. All you have to do is download the Mevo Mic App from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and you're all set.
Well, thank you, Joe, for creating that video for us. And Andrew, I hope you guys found it useful and know a little bit more about our Mevo Mic App. It's free again. Download it for Android and iOS. Have a free wireless microphone. I mean, we're using some wireless microphones right now that cost like hundreds of dollars, but you can just use that Mevo app and it's so easy to use. You can plug in a lavalier, or you could take the audio from your mixer and plug it directly into that phone and have a wireless connectivity just in case you don't want to run like a cable across the ground or whatever it may be. It's a free tool. Maybe you've even got an extra Android or iOS phone laying around. You can just download it and use that, find a new use for that phone right there.
Hey, and I've got one last question that came in that's one of my favorites from Joe Ellis. You ready, Nate?
Oh, so ready.
All right, it's Joe Ellis asks, multi-camera going live anytime soon?
Oh, ooh.
Love it.
Ooh. All right, Joe. So you can actually look for if you go to our website and look up the multicam, there's a little tab across the top in the navigation for the Mevo Multicam app. And you can follow that link and you'll get sent to a Facebook group dedicated to our kind of private / public multicam beta. Now, there's a few caveats to this. It is in beta, and I would say almost alpha in some ways, but the main core of the app is there with the video switching and audio switching. There's not many other features yet. We did just implement one feature called Auto Director, and this is a way where you can actually switch between different cameras based upon a certain timeline that you put in there, and it can auto direct between different shots. But you should head that direction, join our Facebook group, you'll get a link to download and use it now. But like I said, alpha, beta release, I would take it easy on using it in a full scale, like paid production or something like that. But we are adding features quite frequently, so if you stay in that group, you'll always get tips and tricks and you'll see all the updates.
Yeah, and Otto, our head of marketing here, is in the chat, and he already linked to how to access that Mevo Multicam group. And I gotta say, even, it's constantly being updated, but I came and visited Mevo earlier this year. I can't even place when, but we were in our new lab space in our other offices, and Nate pulled up the multicam app before I even knew it was a thing, and he had Mevo, I think they were pluses, a couple of pluses that were running for months,
Easily
and he
months,
was able to switch. He was able to pull them up without being around them, without turning them on. They were connected. He pulled up his app right when we were meeting, and he was able to switch between them. I mean, it shows how stable these cameras are and how stable the app is, even in alpha, even in beta. So I gotta say, really impressive.
And very exciting to have a multi-camera switcher right in your pocket. It's gonna be a piece of cake. Android, iOS phone, connect all your cameras, you're good to go. It's gonna be very fun.
Yeah, and I think this comes to, this is my favorite part of the day.
Oh man, this is your favorite part of the day.
Yeah, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
We gotta put a partition here because I keep just wanting to look at you. We have something that you all have been waiting for all day, and it is the discount. Are you ready for that? First live show discount. Here we go.
Great. So this is a discount. It's good for the next 24 hours. 10% off anything in the store. So if you already own a camera, go grab an accessory. If you don't own a camera, hopefully this convinces you that it is the right move, and you can use that 10% discount on your camera. The code is FIRSTLIVESHOW, and like I said, good for 24 hours. Who knows? We might be doing these more often. Maybe we won't be doing them, so this might be your only opportunity. And like we said earlier in the show, share it with your friends. We have no problem just because they didn't watch. Maybe they watched later. But yep, share away. We want to see how far this code can go and see how many cool things you guys buy.
Yeah, and Nate said it, but it is site-wide, so share away. Also, in the comments, you may see Otto or Dan putting in a survey, and this is a bit of a wild card because it wasn't in our agenda. If you fill out that survey, you'll have a chance to win a Mevo Start. So always stay tuned because we're going to be trying to do this stuff, discounts or giveaways in most of our live shows, if not all. So this discount code is good for 24 hours, so you have all day and a little extra in case you needed some permission to purchase that other Mevo Start. And it's good till tomorrow, and share around First Live Show, all caps, one word. And also, yeah, please put your name, put your comments in, fill out that survey for a chance at a Mevo Start.
Please do. That would be great. We want all the feedback we can, and we're really excited about what this show's going to become. We're going to start doing this a whole lot more consistently, maybe even every day, maybe not, but we're starting. This is our pilot. We're going to start testing some things moving forward, and hopefully you guys can kind of come along for the journey and see where we end up. So thank you very much from the Mevo team and from myself and Andrew for coming to join our little show here on Mevo from the Mevo team. And we hope you stay safe, and we'll see you around.